According to the text today, Pharisees were trying to set up a trap for Jesus, hoping that he will get in trouble with the Roman authorities, or losing in popularity and favors from the crowd. Well, Jesus knew their evil motives and evaded by telling, "Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but to God what belongs to God." Well, as a followers of Jesus Christ, how do we evade trap for us who are living in today's economy? How does our faith shape our economic decisions? Buying, and saving, and giving, and the rest. This morning we will explore the relationship between faith and money through the text today, so that we may become faithful steward of God's money in this world. So that's what we are going to share through the text today. Once I had a neighbor named Ralph. Well, he loved to enjoy the beer after work. And he also loved to share a joke. He's a hardworking, good man. I love him. And he knew I'm a pastor. So one day he grabbed my arm and told this story. Kang said, "You do the tithing, right? That's some money to give back to God, right? But I don't. Instead, I threw the money in the air and saying, God, whatever belongs to the air are all yours. And whatever belongs to the earth is mine." So it's fair, isn't it? So he thought that was funny. So I asked him, "Ralph, did you ever throw the money in a windy day?" People love to talk about anything. They talk about what they like, what they dislike. They talk about what they believe, what they doubt. They talk about the boss. They talk about the boys or girls. But you know what? What if you ask, how much money do you earn? Or how much do you contribute to the charity? Well, then probably uneasy silence and awkward silence may follow. Or that's not your business may come back. Well, people talk about anything, but not money. So I know I might be in an awkward spot right now. So I really need God's help as I deliver the message this morning. But you know what? Here's a true awkward reality. According to Robert Woodnow, author of God and Mammon in America, 82% of Americans have never discussed their income. And 92% of Americans never discussed their giving to charity. This silence about the finances creates an awkward and frustrating and even ridiculous bottom line for the church. But you know what? Jesus talked about the money a lot. He talked about the money than he did about the heaven. Do you know that? So today's text is one of them. So Pharisees and leaders of the church came to Jesus with a question, not because they want to know the truth, but because they wanted to set a trap for Jesus. They thought that Jesus will be in trouble, whatever he says. So here's what they said in verse 16. Teacher, we know that you are the genuine and you teach God's way as it really is. We know that you are not swayed by people's opinion because you don't show the favoritism. After lots of a bothering word, and they said, so tell us what you think. Does the law allow people to pay tax to Caesar or not? Just tell us. They knew how much people hated paying taxes to Roman authorities. They also hated for Jesus getting popular among their peoples at that time. So they thought that surely Jesus will get trouble with the Roman authority or losing his favors among the people. Well, Jesus knew their evil motives. So Jesus asked them, show me the coin you used to pay the tax. I'm sure they are the leaders of the society and rich, so they are paying more taxes than others. But it's interesting. So they brought a denarion, which is a day of a wage. On that coin, there was a portrait of a Caesar, which highlights the imperial ownership of the money. So Jesus showed them and said in verse 21, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but to God what belongs to God. Well, we understand what is said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, because that's what they ask. Then why did Jesus say, give God what belongs to God? Because Jesus knew not only their evil motives, but also their irony of lives. Though they say that they are searching for God's way, they are more concerned with more power and wealth than they are with honoring God. Though they were searching for and working hard for what they believe it is righteous, it was far from God's will. It's far from God's way of living. So it's just showing a trap for themselves. What about us? How is our understanding of giving and the relationship between faith and money? Do we truly believe the lives as we sing more love and more power? Or we feel like more money and more power? What do you think? Some might think that this text might be more appropriate to talk about the separation between church and the state. Give to Caesar what belongs to God, what belongs to Caesar, but to God what belongs to God. I think this is not just the topic of a separation in between church and religion, but it's about the faith and money. In this society today, money defines us, the rich and the poor. The money categorizes us as a big customers, as small customers. Where you live, and how we spend the money, and how we spend our time and resources, and what we do are related with the money, the dollars. Even after internet surfing, you will notice suggested items pop up for shopping when you turn on your computer again. Through the text today, Jesus is telling us our relationship with the money, our relationship to money also illuminate our faith. So how does your faith shape your economic decision? You're buying. your saving and giving and the rest. This morning, Jesus says to us who are living in today's society with a two different understanding and perception about the faith and money, and give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but give to God what belongs to God. Does it mean we should not pay anything to the false god like a Caesar? But to God, what belongs to and everything and to God? So what do you think? Or does it mean that as we owe to the government something like a taxes, we owe God other things? So what do you think? I don't know about your earning and your saving and your contribution. Yes, that's not my business. That's right. However, I am called to share the invitation of Jesus. Jesus invites us actually and demand us to rethink what we buy and how we spend our time and money. That should be shaped by our confession that God is the one who created all the things in the world, include you and me. So this is showing the monthly giving patterns. Out of a 48 giving unit, we do have a 48 giving unit in our church. So I don't know where you are at, but I know where I am at in this giving pattern. So you don't have to look at others, but your own giving. So I hope we can find some relationship between faith and money, and how that relationship shape our life of earning and saving and giving, because faith matters in our economic decisions everywhere in our lives. Some may think money is not related with the faith. Some may think money is related to our faith, but it does. It does. Here's a fact from one of the Gallup poll showing us the relationship between faith and money. Weekly attenders contribute 3.4% of their household income, while those who attend only a few times a year average 1.4%. And those who do not attend at all give 1.1%. So those people who come to worship service more often, they give more. So what does that mean? Does it mean that we should be more independent, away from God? Or seek God first in every place, in every areas of our life? So what do you think? And there's another indicator that people who has a faith give more, while Americans who attend the weekly worship service are in a minority. They give 2/3 of all contribution in the entire nations. Even though they are in the minority, they give more because of faith. Faith matters. Friends, 1 Timothy 6:10, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." Mark Twain says, "The lack of money is the root of evil." So what do you think? You don't have to answer to me, but think about your own life. Which statement feels true? No matter where you are at, no matter which statement you have, here's the good news. Jesus invites us all to grow in our faith journey. And that faith matters in our everyday life, in our buying and saving and giving and the rest. May the Lord bless your heart so that you may be a faithful steward of God's money in this world. So, shall we stand together to profess our faith as we sing this song?